Hey everybody, welcome back to Espressodes. I'm your host, Megan Deal, and today I have a very special guest, Joy Robertson.
Hi.
Hello. I am so excited for you to be here.
I'm thrilled to be here.
And especially because so many people know you as Joy Robertson, whose news and anchor career has spanned over 25 years.
Yeah.
And
long time.
Incredible. And then now you are the host of Savor the Ozarks, which is a podcast under Around the Ozarks.
Yeah.
And I think you're doing some real estate too.
Yes, I'm a realtor and I do the podcast. I do a little bit of radio. But, you know, the fun part about doing a podcast is it's just me and the microphone and the person.
Yes.
And I love video, don't get me wrong. But it's like it frees you to look that person in the eye and just have a conversation.
Absolutely.
Isn't it the best?
It is the best. It's very personal. It's I would agree with you wholeheartedly because of speaking and all the other things that I've done. I would say podcasting is honestly one of my favorites because of what you're saying. It's so personal. It's very calm. It's very chill. And you just get to know who you're talking to.
Yeah, and there's no time limit.
Yeah.
Talk all day if that's what you want to do.
It's amazing.
So,
Yes, so check out Savor the Ozarks.
Yeah.
Now, what we're going to do is we're going to make a pumpkin chai spice latte today.
It's that time of year, pumpkin chai again. You listen to Tom Turton. You remember Tom Turton?
Yes.
Tom is not a pumpkin chai guy, but I'm a pumpkin chai girl.
I don't know how somebody cannot be a pumpkin chai.
I give him the devil about that every fall. It's okay. But I am, and I love it, and it's time for that. So
I am pumped for you to learn how to make it.
Let's do it.
So now you're going to love it and know how to make it. Grab this tumbler, and you're going to put 1 scoop of chai and 1 scoop pumpkin in there.
Okay.
So while you're doing that, Joy, kind of tell us what inspired you to get into news and reporting.
I grew up in Arkansas, and I always was a big fan of television. And I remember watching the news and thinking, and I asked my parents at one point, I said, how do you get on TV like that? And my mother said to me, and I kid you not, she said, you have to have a daddy who owns a TV station. I mean, that's exactly what she said.
Yeah.
And I was like, something about, I don't believe that. I really don't think that's true. But I didn't really have the confidence as a young person growing up in Russellville, Arkansas, to think I would ever be able to do anything like that. So when I got older and I started sort of studying communication and television in college, I visited a TV station in Little Rock, and then I learned about a journalism school in Columbia, Missouri. Mizzou, the oldest journalism school, and I got my undergrad in Arkansas, and then I applied years later after working in television, not news, production, and I ended up going to grad school, and then I ended up making a career out of it. So.
I love that you just said that as a young girl you didn't have the confidence.
Oh, no.
But then look at who you became. And for anybody watching, I know that was the nugget they needed to hear. They needed to hear, oh wait, Joy struggled with this, but she still became. And I love that you said that. Let's put some water in this.
I've never seen one of these, so which one is this water?
So you're going to put underneath here, you're going to kind of put that underneath here. Press this button right here. So I had some questions, but now with what you just said, I'm about to dive into a whole nother question.
Okay.
So with so you're going to take that out.
Is that enough water?
Yes. Well, let's do one more just since we had to.
I have never seen one of these before. I could break this.
No, wait until the steam comes out. It gets real fun.
Ooh.
Let's take this, and then you're gonna grab your stir stick and stir.
Looks like this.
Yes.
Okay.
So with the pressure of reporting the news, what was it like holding that pressure? And because not just in news, people who are listening in their own careers or even parenthood, there is a certain pressure in a lot of things people do to get it right. So what was it like holding that pressure, and what was a mindset you developed to help yourself get through that pressure so that it didn't help cave?
Well, you don't get emotional. You try not to. News stories can be very difficult. There's a lot of tragedy. There's a lot of difficulty, but you don't let your opinion into it. You report what happened and you move to the next story.
Yeah.
And that's why I get a little bit bothered by our current climate.
Absolutely.
You know, I mean, people gravitate to what they want to hear, and you need to be a good consumer of news and realize that you need to get different viewpoints and things like that. And don't just listen to what you want to hear.
Yes,
people
absolutely.
are eager to tell you what you want to hear.
Absolutely.
You know, so.
And if we could not do that, we would have better friendships and just relationships in society as a whole.
Yeah.
Yes.
Everybody just calm down.
Just calm
Yeah.
down. Yes, thank you. So then what we're going to do next is pour milk in here. You will pour it to about that line right there.
So this is where we steam the milk?
Yes.
Great. I've always wanted to know how this works.
So how did you balance the demand of a high-profile career in your personal life?
Well, you know, your family comes first,
Uh-huh.
but you have deadlines and you have a job to do, and sometimes you have to miss dinner. Sometimes you have to miss their events. Sometimes you have to miss their volleyball games. Sometimes you have to leave at night and go cover something or stay late and you don't get to tuck them into bed and things like that. So it could be a tough balance, but my family was very patient with me and I made it work. But it was a little bit of a struggle, and then I decided I just didn't want to do the late night and the deadlines anymore, and I backed off, and I will never regret it, because I remember coming home and my two little girls used to say, "Mama, do you have to do the 10? Do you have to do..." Because there were days you'd go in early and you would do the early show and maybe produce a show, and then come home at 6:30 after the 6 o'clock. And do you have to do the 10? Do you have to do the 10? And I remember saying, no, I don't have to do the 10 ever again.
Yeah. And you just knew. Like, you just knew it was time.
It was time. Is this where I make a design or something? Like
we
write
can
my
totally
name
try.
in it? No, it's not.
We can.
It's not going to happen.
Okay, so how do you define success? How did you define it in the beginning of your career? And then how did you define success at the end? Did that change for you? And then we're going to grab that and give it a stir.
You know, this one? Okay.
Yes.
I just wanted to do a good job and tell really good stories.
Yeah.
I never had aspirations about how I want to move up in markets and markets and markets and markets. You know, by the time I had a family, that was my number one. And I just wanted to do right by the people I interviewed and do right by the community and tell those good stories. And when I say stories, like a good, rich story, because you think about that, when you are talking to someone on what might be the worst day of their life, the worst day of their life, might be the best day of their life, might be the worst day, and the trust they would put in me, you know, and say at the end, they would say, "Thank you, you made me feel so comfortable." That was all I needed to hear.
Yeah. Okay, we are going to put that in here and give it a stir. So, what has surprised you? Let's go a little bit into Savor the Ozarks. What has surprised you the most about restaurant business that you didn't know before, but you now know because of Savor the Ozarks?
Well, I know more about the restaurant business because of Savor the Ozarks, but also because of my daughter, who is a hospitality major, who's in culinary school.
Okay.
And I hear the stories and I talk to the people and I see the effort that goes into it.
Yeah.
And I have said before, and I'll say again, the only thing I want to do is go order food, eat, and go home.
Yeah.
You know, I really do. I just want to eat and go home. But hats off to the people who work so hard to make it happen. It is a labor of love for hours and hours and hours and hours. You know, you think of feeding your family, and that's tough enough sometimes.
Yes.
You think of feeding a few hundred people a night.
Yes.
I cannot imagine.
I can't either.
So the amount of passion that goes into that, but also the camaraderie between the restaurateurs here in the Ozarks. They support each other. I usually always ask them, where do you go when you're not here?
Yeah.
And they'll tell me where they like to eat and the chefs they admire.
Yeah.
And it's just, I learn something new every single conversation.
You just said, it's a labor of love and everything that goes into it. And I have often thought, just what I have to do for a drive-through drinks is so minuscule compared to what somebody has to do in a restaurant, all the plates. And I've often thought, I'm like, okay, this is what it's like just making drinks and trying to get drinks timed right. And the line through, I'm like, how on earth do these cooks and these like navigate all the plates and all the portions, and they get it right and they do it well, and it's so much. I just can't. I honestly can't. It's not. And I think you were so true. Like, people just don't go in and just cook your food and go home. Like, there is so many steps to that.
There's so many steps.
Yes. And then Joy, if you want to try that, and then we will get your final question in.
It probably isn't the best one ever made, but it's probably going to be pretty good.
Joy, you are now a latte. You're the master of lattes.
I'm the real deal.
You are the real deal, and you now know how to make a latte.
It's darn tasty.
There you go.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, so the last question.
All right.
If you could have dinner with anyone, past or present, who would it be? And what restaurant would you go to locally?
Locally?
Yes.
Okay. I would invite my good friend Sam Donaldson, formerly from ABC News. You may be too young to remember Sam. Sam was legendary in TV news. And when I was in grad school at Mizzou, I did a master's project in Washington, D.C. So I spent a semester at ABC News with Sam. And I worked with some of the other correspondents, Ted Koppel and some of the greats, really. But David Brinkley, Sylvia Chase, I could go on and on. But anyway, Sam was such a good mentor and a good teacher and a heck of a reporter. He would see a statue in D.C., where there are tons, and he'd say, Joy, tomorrow you tell me what that statue is all about. I want the history first thing in the morning. Well, there was no Google, so I would have to research what that was. I would have to find where it was and then come in and report to him what it was all about. So he was tough. I would love to have dinner again with Sam.
Yeah.
And I think I would invite Sam to go to Big Mama's on Commercial Street.
Okay.
Here's why.
Yeah.
Years ago, I shot a story, because I always enjoyed shooting my own content. I shot a story at Big Mama's, and I sent a link to Sam, and I said, I want you to tell me what you thought about this story. It was just a fun feature profile. And he said to me, I feel like I was there. I feel like I've been there. He said I would like to go there sometime. So Sam, if you're watching, come on, we'll go to C Street. We'll go a lot of places, but we'll start at Big Mama's.
I love that.
Yeah.
That is awesome. Joy, thank you so much for taking the time to come on and just come on the other side of the camera. Joy is usually the one asking questions.
I started to say, I don't answer questions. I try. I ask the questions.
Yes.
Next time we'll turn the tables.
Oh, we should. Let's do it. All right. Bye, guys.
Cheers.